So I'm sorry that this has taken longer than expected, but following on from the questioning around the 4Ps and the planner, you guys did indicate that a video to support that might be helpful. So I've had a few crashes, and during obviously this phase of relapse. So I've not been able to do that for you guys until today. So I'm going to do my best to give an explanation of what the 4Ps planner is. And then what I might do is, if it's something everybody wants, is and maybe might fix a time that I could do a short Q&A, so live Q&A. If that is something that would be useful, please do give me a message and let me know. I'll put that on the health and wellbeing page. That would be fabulous. So the 4Ps planner, the idea behind it is obviously pacing, and I didn't devise pacing. That is something that's been the 3Ps are within the NHS, and you can Google information on that. I extended to the 4Ps along with a fellow long hauler, Ian, in terms of adding positivity to that. And anyone that listens to the podcast will know I'm talking positivity from a non-toxic element. So we're not pretending that we're positive. We're just trying to have a little bit of positivity where possible, to just keep ourselves going. This is a challenging time. Having long COVID is a taskmaster in itself. Having anything other, I've recently been diagnosed with POTS, so POTS, ME, CFS, invisible disabilities, disabilities of any sort, really. Especially the 4Ps is focusing on those that take your energy levels away, and you start with a depleted energy anyway, so fatigue. And there's a misconception with fatigue that you can rest your way out of it, and you can't. It's not the same as tiredness. It's completely different to being tired. Being tired, you can go to bed, you can sleep it off, as they say, and you'll wake up refreshed. Fatigue, you could sleep for a week and still be fatigued. And what tends to happen when you have something like the post-viral syndrome with fatigue is that you start your day on much less energy than you may have done prior. And that can be that you start at, if you think of it in battery level, 50% battery, 25% battery. Everybody's different. People have different levels of fatigue, even under the same umbrella of the same illness. We are all different. This is what I say all the time. Our sort of connectivity is that we do have this post-viral problem that's changing our lives, basically, and our health, and things that we may have previously done before. So the 4Ps planner, you do subscribe, and I want to again make it clear that there's no trick to the subscription. It's because I've used a platform that can then automatically email the 4Ps planner out to you guys, because I obviously couldn't consistently be emailing out so many emails, so it sends it out for me, which is really useful. So the link to the 4Ps planner remains in my link tree across all my social media sites. So I'm on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and LinkedIn actually, so you can get that from there. If you're having any problems, always feel free to just DM me, and I will guide you where you need to be. So I've got a paper version here, very old-fashioned, I know, because normally people would turn the screen round here and go through this, that and the other, but I'm just going to make this quite simple and basic video for today. So if you've printed out or you've downloaded on your computer, you will see you follow the 4Ps guide, and then what will also consist of is your planner, and this is a 2-page planner, and I'm going to go through the planner with you guys. So the follow the 4Ps just breaks down what pace, plan, prioritise, and obviously positivity would be in terms of how you use the planner. Now, as I said, everybody is individual, so you might want to make this planner more your own. You might use something more than you do other things. Something might be more of a benefit to you than anything else. So for the 4Ps planner, it's really good for you, from what I've done for myself, to actually start seeing any signs of patterns with your symptoms, any improvements, any deterioration, any signs of crashes, what you've been doing, and it can help you identify things for yourself. But the other element to this, and I have found it really, really useful, is being able to take it to your appointments. So a healthcare professional can look at any patterns in any area of the planner that you might want to focus on. So it might not be the planner as a whole, it might be parts of it. Now, what I would say as well is, obviously the planner is a guide. As I said, you may want to make it your own. I actually started, and again, if you follow me on the social medias, you may have seen this book before, by using a book like this. And in the first instance, I actually created my own long COVID recovery plan that was personal to me. So you know what my aims were, what I wanted to look at, and that's how I worked out that sugar was having an adverse effect on me, and that an anti-inflammatory diet seems to be of benefit to me, and X, X, Y, Z. And I built on this, and this book does actually come to my appointments with me. So again, you can use the planner as a guide, you can print it out and use that like that. You can leave it electronically if you wanted to use it via your phone, but also in the same way you can use a book and add your own parts to it as well. Okay, so we'll get into the planner as a whole. So the initial thing of the 4Ps is that we need to pace. So pacing is making sure that you take your time, and that you don't overexert in your day, or your week, month, so on and so forth, to try and avoid these crashes. And basically it does mean that you would slow down in your day, have regular intervals of rests and breaks, and this goes for work too. So again, it's something that you can use with your occupational health department to work out if there are any patterns. I know some people with long COVID need to have a rest point at a particular time in the day, and they might even have a nap. That works for some people. I can't nap. I can rest, and I do, but napping I really struggle with, because sleep is a challenge of mine anyway. So it might be that you have to put that into your day, and that's an adaptation in the workplace. But this is something that the planner can do, is help you identify what those might be. So it's making things to come down into sort of smaller bite-sized chunks as well. So the first portion of the planner is your daily tasks and your breaks, and you can list what there would be, and that's where prioritising comes in as well. Because if there's something that you don't need to do today, you could maybe do tomorrow or in a week's time even, then that wouldn't be your initial priority. You would look at what was your initial priority. And the idea of putting breaks in is really important, because we're preserving our energy, as I said. So And some people use the spoons method. Obviously, if you want to have a look at that, by all means do. Some people find that complex. So we basically need to be adding the tasks, prioritising what they are, and planning how that day might look. And it might sound complex and a lot to do, but it's actually a 2-minute job, and it can help guide you and support with the brain fog for me as well, because I forget what I need to be doing. So say if you did have, let's just say, because I've said occupational health, you have an occupational health appointment. Now, appointments, as we know, are tiring, whether they're on a video like this, whether they're on a call on the phone, or face to face. So that particular morning, say if it's in the morning, that you might not want to be doing a great deal other than getting ready for that appointment. And that might be even the day before, making sure that if you're going out to an appointment, you know what clothing you're going to put on. It's comfortable, it's available, it's ready for you to just wear. You're not looking for anything. That you have enough time to be able to gradually get ready. I'm really not good in the morning. I really do struggle. So I have to really plan if I've got anything that is in the morning to be able to actually physically move, to be quite honest. And obviously, as you guys will know, some days, it doesn't happen, and we have to be kind to ourselves and appreciate that the priority therefore is you, and being well enough to actually do any tasks, to be honest. So so it's giving yourself enough time, and then it's going to that appointment. And you're going to use a lot of energy in appointment, because it's not just physically. We're talking brain, memory, talking, thinking. That is a challenge. So what you would do is, following that appointment, you pencil in that rest period. That rest period should reflect the amount of time that actual task has taken for you to then recharge. And as I said, you can't recharge fatigue, so always have that in the back of your mind. This is kind of a recharge to get to a level where you can continue functioning and continue on with your day. So it might be that then after that you want to put a load of washing in the washing machine, if you are able to do that. So you would then plan in that you want to do your wash load, and again you would, following having that rest period, you would then put your washing on. And again, you may need to rest after that particular putting the washing on as well. And the idea is, with pacing, is that you don't go over or push to even a level of I might be going too far. You stop well before that. So you're always preserving energy, so you're not even feeling like something has been a really challenging task. Now, with an appointment it can be, and there's not a lot you can always do in terms of, we don't know how an appointment will go. So that's why I said always extensive rest, and making sure that you give yourself that time and being kind to yourself. The other element of the planner is meals. What I do find is it's varied with people with long COVID. Some people have said that they are struggling with their weight in terms of they can't lose it. They've maybe put more weight on. And then other people are unable to get the right nutrition in and are effectively losing weight. Which neither one is what we want to happen. We want to have as much good nutrition in our bodies as we can, so that we can function effectively. Also, like I said before, I found sugar to be quite a trigger for me, and made me feel very poorly. I actually felt like I had onset of diabetes. So monitoring what food you have is going to be effective to know what types of foods you're having, and if there is anything that's not working very well. Also, if somebody is under eating, that will be identified, and again, if you're overeating, that will be identified. And actually, the nutritional value is the most important thing, actually, really, is what you're getting in that is that's giving you the nutritional value, because that is what makes our bodies work effectively. And thinking about the gut microbiome as well, and how that affects our systems and how we work. So good nutritional food is always going to be of benefit. Hydration. Now, as a bladder and bowel nurse practitioner previously, hydration is a really important factor, and obviously now learning I've got POTS, I'm just implementing electrolytes into my diet to try and support myself as well, and maintain my body's electrolyte levels so that I can function more effectively as well. But in terms of just general hydration, it is really, really important. Most people I come across as a bladder and bowel nurse practitioner think they drink an adequate amount of fluid, and it's not until I point out to them what an adequate amount of fluid is that they realise they don't. So if you think about in terms of cups, for instance, so this glass would be around Jack Daniels, and I can't drink alcohol, so that's that would be roughly around 500 mils of fluid. Okay, so you're looking at, you need to be drinking 2 litres to 2.5 litres of fluid. You're looking at around 8 to 10 glasses, and if the weather is warmer or you're sweating, or again with POTS, you might need to take on more fluid. I will just do a disclaimer there: if you have any kind of heart condition or you're on any kind of medication that does affect that circulatory system and your fluid intake, please do check with your GP before taking an amount of fluid. And if you're also on a fluid restriction, you would need to keep to that fluid restriction and discuss with your medical professional if you wanted to increase and ensure that would be appropriate. Fluid restrictions are obviously for medical reasons. So there's a section for priorities, and that's so that you can put in whether you've got those daily priorities or weekly priorities, tasks that you really want to or need to or must get done. And these tasks that I'm talking about are not just the washing or appointment. They should and must include social elements in terms of seeing family, friends, having some you time, some self-care that I talk about, because those things are really important for an holistic lifestyle and being able to live and have a good quality of life. So having a coffee with a friend will be exhausting in lots of ways, but it will also be very pleasurable to be able to catch up with that friend, and that may be a priority of your day, that you want to be able to do that. So do prioritise it, do put that rest period in, and work it like you would anything else, any other tasks of the day. I put in a section for positive quote because obviously positivity is part of the 4 Ps. Now, you don't have to fill that in. It could be a box that you don't use, but it also could just be something that might have happened that day that's nice and positive for you or to a family member, or give yourself something, say something nice to yourself. I always say this to people, especially if they're at a low ebb. Look in the mirror and tell yourself something nice about you. It's always good to be kind to ourselves, because if you're kind to you can be kind to other people. And I like positive quotes anyway. So it's that kind of putting that into anything that might make you smile. Anything that might make you smile is positive. But as I said about toxic positivity, it's not real. Good vibes only doesn't exist, because if we could have good vibes only, that would be lovely, but it's not going to happen, and forcing yourself to feel positive is not positive in itself. So just always bear that in mind. There is then a symptom log. What I found really useful for appointments was monitoring what my symptoms were like, and when there were periods of time where my symptoms are exacerbated, but then some have kind of like depleted into the background a little bit, but then they come back with a vengeance, and whether there was a pattern to that, as I said, whether it might be the fact that I'm not sleeping well, or my food intake, or weather tolerance, or whatever it might be really. You can also add, and I do in my book, any medications that you're on, or any supplements that you're taking, because again you can start getting, especially with supplements I suppose, an idea of whether you feel like they're doing anything positive. I suppose same with medication, if it's a new medication, and check that there isn't any contraindications with anything making you feel worse, because as I said, not everything works for everybody. And then daily thoughts, that's just an area for you to be able to journal about anything, your day, how you're feeling. I find it sometimes really useful to put down what I'm thinking, rather than talk about it. Sometimes talking's good as well, of course, but sometimes writing it down and then being able to read it back for yourself is useful. The other factor is being able to reflect back, because it's written down, because of the brain fog as well, on where you might have been and how you might have felt at a certain point of your day. And that can be really useful too. So that is basically what the 4Ps planner is. It's a tool to be able to use to identify any potential improvements, or any decline in your health, as you the days go on, any post-exertion malaise. You can record exercise if you exercise, and I know that can be controversial in some ways with fatigue and post-viral syndrome. So what I would just say is, I'm talking about a wide variety of people. Some people may be able to exercise, some people might not, and I obviously started this planner at a point when I wasn't able to do anything. Currently I'm doing about 5 to 10 minutes of yoga, trying to do one day, or a couple of days in the week if possible. So those things can be added. It's a very flexible document. It was just something I was finding using personally myself very useful, and wanted to share with you guys. If you want me to talk more on the planner, or as I said, you would like me to do a Q&A session, a live one, then I'm quite happy to do that. I can arrange that if it would be of benefit. So do please let me know. I hope this video has been useful. As always, please do give me some feedback. You can follow me on the social media platforms, as I said, and please do send me any messages. And as always, please do take care, and I'll speak to you guys soon.